Hi friends, I'm going to discuss an important recently launched instrument by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, that is e-rupee voucher. See, this e-rupee voucher is part of our Digital India program. We wanted to move into a digital economy, and in that process we have launched so many things in the last few years. Now the government has come up with a new concept called e-rupee voucher. So before I getting into the details of e-rupee voucher, I want to clarify one thing, that this e-rupee voucher is not a digital currency. It's not a digital currency. It is only a digital transaction for a physical currency. That means, suppose you have 1000 rupees in your account. Now you are just transferring either through Paytm or Google Pay or whatever the other transaction platforms like RTGS others. So that means you are having an underlying 100 rupees in your or 1000 rupees in your account. You are just transacting that 100 rupees to another person, and in the back door that 100 rupees worth of or 1000 rupees worth of physical currency will be transferred to the other person account. Now in a similar manner, this e-rupee is also a thing, and in that one person's money will be transfers to your account or someone's account, but the instrument we are using, it is a voucher, not a digital transaction, because a digital transaction needs a techno savvy device and an internet facility and also a banking application platform, and you have to connect your bank account with that internet connectivized device or whatever the application. In a normal transaction you need to have all this connectivity, but whereas in case of the e-rupee voucher you no need all those things. But still, a physical currency is transacted from one person's account to the another person's account through this instrument. That is how e-rupee is different from that of the normal transactions. So the normal transaction requires lot of things, but this e-rupee transaction does not require all those internet connectivity or card or whatever the mobile app which involves the banking transaction. It doesn't require all those things. But I'll explain the how e-rupee will work, but that is how different e-rupee from that of the existing transactions. And e-rupee is not going to create any new digital currency, it is just transacting the physical currency. So don't try to confuse yourself with this digital currency and as well as this e-rupee. Digital currency is something different where it does not involve any physical currency. The digital currency itself is issued by the Reserve Bank of India or a sovereign. Okay, now what is this purpose of e-rupee and how it is going to helpful in the economy, and how exactly this e-rupee will work? First of all, I'll explain how e-rupee will work. Then after, I'll try to explain how this entire mechanism has formulated by the government through its technology. See, e-rupee voucher means you are going to get a voucher. How you will get? Someone is sending that voucher to you. And why someone is sending a voucher to you? He wanted to give it as a gift to you. Just assume. Suppose I myself want to give a gift to you. So what I will do is, instead of sending the cash through the digital transaction, because I told you the problem with the digital transaction, it requires lot of setup. Now I'll just send a digital voucher. And how I will get the digital voucher? I have a bank account. I'll go to my parent bank and I will open a digital voucher worth of 1000 rupees with your name and with your number, because I wanted to give that voucher to you. And I am also giving for the purpose, because I am giving the voucher to you to purchase a notebook or a particular any textbook. So I will go to my parent bank and I will ask my parent bank to issue a digital voucher on the name of some XYZ for the purpose of so and so, and with an amount of 1000 rupees. and with your mobile number. Now that digital voucher I'll getting into my mobile. It may be in a quick response code or QR code form or normal SMS based a string code. Now I will send that QR code or SMS based string code to you in the sense to whom I want to give it as a gift. Now you can, if you have a smartphone, you can use QR. If you have a normal mobile, then you can just use an SMS string code whatever I have sent to you, and you can go to that particular bookshop. In the sense, why I am saying bookshop, because I have created this digital I have created this e-rupee for only purchasing of textbook or notebook, and you can redeem this e-voucher only at the textbook shop and also the whatever the notebook shop. And that receiving entity should have a special infrastructure to redeem this e-voucher. And the moment you went there, they will scan the QR code or they will read your SMS string message, and immediately the system will send a message to you, and they will send an OTP. And once you share that OTP with that particular recipient, then the amount will be automatically transferred from my account, because I am the issuer, my account to the recipient account. That means the bookshop or the whatever the stationery shop's account. And once the transaction is over, because once this underlying transaction is completed, then only physically the money will be transferred to the account of that person. Then you can get your whatever the books and other things. The e-rupee digital voucher means it is a cashless, it is a contactless, it is a specific person, and it is a specific purpose digital transaction. So this digital transaction does not involve any cash, it does not involve any contact, it does not involve any card, it does not involve any internet connectivity, it does not involve any banking mobile app, but it is a specific person and it is a specific purpose. That means you cannot use it for anything whatever you want, and you cannot issue to whom you want, because to whomever I want I can give, but I have to generate my e-voucher code with that particular person's mobile number, because here the identity to a particular person in this e-rupee voucher is only his mobile number and his name, because you are going to get an OTP here. So this is how digital this e-rupee voucher will work. Now, then why government has launched this? What are the applications of this particular e-rupee voucher? See here, this e-rupee voucher connects the sponsors of the service with the beneficiaries and service providers in digital manner without any physical interface. And here government, along with the government in the sense the National Payment Corporation of India, on its unified payment interface UPI platform, in collaboration with the Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and National Health Authority, in collaboration with this health department, Government of India brought this e-rupee voucher. And why they have brought now? Suppose today the vaccination, COVID-19 vaccination is happening. 25% is with the private people and remaining 75% is the public sector. That means normal our public government hospitals are giving the vaccine. Now suppose maybe the government entities or private people or any of the philanthropic organizations or NGOs, they wanted to help to the some middle income people who is not having an opportunity or who is not having any facility to go to the public center to get their vaccination. Now government or these private people will send a digital voucher, that means a e-rupee voucher to these people. let it be just assume the vaccine cost is 1400, so they are sending this 1400 rupees worth of voucher to these people. They have opened on the name of these people and they have sent it to their mobile number. Now these people can go to the private vaccination center, and by showing the QR code or SMS, they can redeem that e-voucher given by a sponsor, so that I can vaccinate myself. And here, who can issue this e-rupee voucher? It will be issued by the bank, but the person who want to sponsor, either it is the government or private people, can go to their partner bank and they can furnish the details to whom they are issuing, for what purpose they are issuing, with their names and with their mobile numbers. They can get these e-rupee vouchers and they can send it to their respective mobile numbers. And at present, they have launched it for this vaccination. But tomorrow, if government want to provide some sort of subsidy to the people, they can issue e-vouchers. Suppose, just assume, I'll give an example because it has already been implementing in some of the developed countries like United States of America and Sweden, and even some of the countries like Colombia, Hong Kong, they are doing. In Sweden, I'll give a famous example of scholarship. Suppose the colleges or the government is giving some scholarship to the people, students. So when government is issuing a scholarship to the students, for what purpose they are giving? They are giving for the purpose of purchasing of some computers or some laptops or some books. Now they are issuing a voucher in such a manner that they must reach to a specific person and they can be redeemed only at a particular place. You cannot redeem this voucher wherever you want. It can be redeemed only at the computer shop, or it can be redeemed only at the notebook shop or any other place. So that is how they are implementing. And tomorrow, if government want to provide some sort of subsidy to the purchase of fertilizers to the farmers, or suppose if the government want to give this e-vouchers to the pregnant women for their hospital consultation, or suppose tomorrow if the government gives this e-voucher for the purchasing of medicines for the TB or other patients. So that means for what purpose they are giving, that purpose will be served with this e-rupee voucher. And it is not only by the government, even private people also, some of the corporate or any of the private companies, suppose if they want to provide some sort of benefits to their employees, they can give these gift vouchers so that they can go to their respective shops and they can redeem that so that they can avail the services. It does not require any things that requires in the normal digital transaction. So the point here is, it is a person specific, it is a cashless, it is a contactless, and it does not require much infrastructure at the user level. Definitely where you are redeeming, they must have an infrastructure, and who is issuing, they must have an infrastructure. But this will reduce the leakages in these normal digital transactions. They might misuse it, and some intermediary may come and they can misuse all these things, and you may use it for different purpose. So that is the entire motive behind this issuing of e-rupee voucher, and it is having its own applications. Maybe in the upcoming days they might use very widely, because it has its own specific thing, and it is only for transactional purpose, but that too a person specific and purpose specific. And beneficiary is identified here by using their mobile number and also the voucher allotted by the bank. It can be used in smartphone and also in normal mobile. And OTP is the one through which the bank will validate whether it is you or not. Because if you can take it from someone's mobile and someone's mobile like QR code or SMS, and you can't redeem it, because the moment you go there they will ask for OTP. So this is the highly secure features of this e-rupee voucher. I hope you understood.